Yo, this is Devin, and right now we got the first episode of Behind the Music. And right now I'm with my boy.
Louie Franco was good, bro.
Yeah, what's happening, man? Dude, I'm good, bro. Just living life, working, everything like that. How about you?
Same stuff, man. Just blessed to still be working. And blessed to be healthy, man, and just excited to, talk some music with you today, bro.
Most definitely, man. So before we do get into the questions and everything like that, can you give us just like a quick little rundown of who you are, what you do?
Yeah, so again, my name is Louie Franco. I'm a musician. I do like hip hop, rap, reggaeton music, and I'm also a producer. So I produce or almost all of my music, I should say. I started making music when I was 14, and just continuing to learn the craft and involving my craft now.
Yeah, man. Hey, and dude's mad talented. That's why we're talking right now, man. I really enjoy the music. Hey, did you produce all the beats on your last project?
Yeah.
Every single one?
Yep.
That's really fucking impressive. I always got respect for the people who can do both and who are really good at doing both. You know what I mean? Because there's some people who like rap and produce where like the balance isn't really there. You know what I mean? Someone like no shade, but like Pierre, you know what I mean? Like he's like really good at like producing, but like the rapping isn't really 100% there. You know what I mean? But people like you really have like a good balance. So much fucking props to y'all, bro.
Appreciate that. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, I've been doing this since I was 14, and I'm 27 now, so I got 13 years of practice. And for a long time, like I started off as a producer, right? For a long time, I was trying to get my rap or my artist side of my myself to kind of catch up to the producer side, right? So I think we're getting a good balance. But yeah, again, like I said, we're continuing to grow it, man. That's all I'm really focused on.
So today we're gonna be talking about Sigue. It's one of my favorite songs that's on the last project that you just dropped. So I kind of just wanted to ask, like off rips, like what is Sigue? Like what does that mean?
So Sigue, in the context I'm using it as, is it's basically saying to continue, right? Ella sigue mandando señales means she's continuing, or she's continuing to send like signs to me, basically telling me that she's fucking with me, right? But I don't know how to kind of take it, because sometimes like you've been in a situation where you're talking to a girl, you might take whatever sign she's throwing you, and it's a good thing, or it might be like, oh, maybe I misread the signs, right? So in the song, I'm talking about, like, I hope that you're throwing me these signs in a way where, like, it's reciprocated, because I fuck with you, right? I fuck with you, that, so I hope it's the same thing. So
I kind of just want to know, what was the whole origin story behind Sigue?
Bro, the origin story, bro, it's basically like, it's funny, bro, because I was driving from San Diego, right? And I'm in traffic, bro, headed back to LA. And I have this playlist just in the background, bro. And it's playing My Boo from Ghost Town DJs. And I'm just vibing to it. And out of nowhere, bro, I'm thinking, has anyone ever sampled this song and made it like reggaeton, or like, like Spanish, right? And I'm like, I don't think so. So I called up my boy Cook, and I asked him, I'm like, yo, like, cause he's a DJ, and I'm sure he fucking knows if I don't. And I'm like, yo, a good ass idea. I think it's gonna be great. But I need to make sure that this song hasn't been sampled. My Boo by Ghost Town DJs. And he goes, I don't think so. I don't think the way you want to sample it. So literally, bro, the next day I got home too late to really work on it. But next day, I hopped on my computer, and like 12 hours later, we have like the first draft of Sigue.
The whole song?
And what was that?
The whole song?
I mean,
or just the beat?
No, the whole song for the most part. I would say 75% of it was there. And really, where the idea came from, it was more of a generalized idea, right? Like, I think everyone can relate to that idea that I just said about what Sigue means, right? like you may be talking to somebody and you know they're throwing you certain signs that you're like, oh, okay, like I think you fuck with me, right? And then you take those signs and do whatever you got to do with them, right? And I think that's kind of where I got the idea from, and it kind of just came organically. At the same time, I was like, you know, coming up with the melody, and it really just came to me like the word Sigue, Sigue, right? And then I just kind of put the words together, and I was like, okay, like people can relate to this. I can definitely relate to it. You know, I've been in both, you know, situations where I you know, we're talking to a girl and, you know, okay, the signs you're showing me basically are making me feel like I need to reciprocate that energy, and it all works out. And I've also been in situations where I was like, yeah, I guess I read those signs wrong. You feel me? So the song was really about that. Like, hey, like, I feel like I'm talking from a perspective of like, you know, I feel like I know you, the girl that I'm talking to. I feel like you do fuck with me, but there's some hesitation, and I hope I'm not reading the situation wrong. And really, you can make the song go into any situation you want, whether it's in the you know, the one where you probably don't want, which is, oh, I think I took the signs wrong, or oh, I took the songs right. Because Sky as a whole, the CD or the project, sorry, you have a little bit of both. You have situations where I'm talking about, man, I'm never gonna see you again, like my ex, right? Or like an ex, I should say, in a general statement. Or you have other songs like My Way, where I realized where I realized that I'm talking to a girl that I at first didn't want, but now I want. You know, like it's kind of like all these different little situations that you have kind of like together, where I kind of wanted to have people listen to it and kind of make their own little interpretation of it. You know, based on whatever they kind of went through in their own life. So, yeah, that's kind of where the idea came from. It was kind of like a little out of nowhere, I would say. But, you know, I take a lot of influence of my songs from like, you know, past situations I've been in, or situations I know like my boys have been in, or my friends in general have been in. So like, yeah, this one's one of them that was influenced by a few of those situations that I've seen. So
yeah, dude, relatability is huge.
I think so, bro. I think that's one thing that I definitely wanted to improve on. I think like, you know, back 4 years ago, like when I was, you know, dropping whatever music I was dropping back then, I think one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I took was, hey, like you should try storytelling more. You should try, you know, talking about certain topics, right? And I was always a guy that was like, man, like I want to make music that people can just kind of vibe to, right? Like I want people, whenever a Louie Franco song comes on, I want people to be like, oh, like this is my shit, and just have a good time, you know, and not take it too serious. That was my whole fucking like ideology behind my music back then. Like I'm not tripping off of the message, right? Which honestly was a little, you know, I think naive of me to think, because now like whenever I listen to whatever other songs that are out there, especially The Weeknd. Shout out to The Weeknd. That's my guy, man. I love that guy. Biggest inspiration right now. But when he talks about whatever he's going through or whatever situation he puts in that song, it's like, man, I fucking relate to this. You know, like I want to keep listening and listening and listening. And I'm like, that's what I want now. I don't want to be that guy that just gets played and there's no substance, you know? Like I want to, like, I think the next thing in my craft building was storytelling and relatability. Sorry. And I think Sky was a good, you know, second step or whatever step I'm on right now for that. So
storytelling is a very underrated skill within like just music in general. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I think that people kind of like the misconception behind it is that you have to tell a whole story. Mm-hmm. So they're like, I went to the store, like
right.
I went this and I did that. Like you can just do it in segments. Like you could just be like, oh, this happened right here. You know what I mean? And that story can only be like a component of like 20% of the song. It doesn't have to be like a
right. And I think
reading a book every time you make a song, bro. You know what I mean?
To your point, bro, that's what I learned, because I always had it in my head. I was like, fuck, like, you know, I gotta be like one of these fucking like top 3 MC rappers that, like, for example, it was one time where I was literally trying to write a song where I was like, I did this and I did that, then I did this. I'm like, bro, this is fucking hard. Like I can't, I can't focus on like a whole story. And then I had a boy that was like, well, you don't have to do that. Like you can just pick a topic and pick a part of a story that you want to expand on throughout the whole song. And basically like from there, I was like, well, shit, I can do that. And, slowly but surely I've been getting or improving, I should say. I still have that, mindset where like, when you play a Louie Franco song, I want you to vibe. That's always going to be, I think my general fucking like, that's what I want when someone plays my music. But also like, for example, Sigue, like I've had some people say like, man, I'm kind of going through that situation right now. And I'm like, bet, like, I hope it turns out well for you. But like, that's exactly what I want. There's another song called Fallback. I don't want to take too much out of Sigue, but Fallback, my other favorite song from the album, it talks about falling back. It literally says like, hey, I need to fall back from this girl because I don't think she's fucking with me in that way that that I'm fucking with her. Like the way I see her, I think that maybe she isn't ready for a relationship. So let me fall back. But then in the song, in the hook, I say, but I won't because I hella like this girl.
Yeah.
So keep trying, feel me? Like, so like I released that song and a lot of people were like, bro, I'm going through some like similar situation. And I'm like, that's fucking dope that I can like have people relate to it. And I think that's what really, I think that's what makes music great, like relatability. Like you listen to a song for a lot of reasons, but I think one of the strongest, most powerful reasons would be it's because I'm going through the same situation, or I've been through the situation before, or like I know someone that's going through the situation, so it helps me understand it better. Yeah, it's also a coping mechanism, So like, I think all that kind of changed, like in my mindset over the last 5 years, and hopefully, it continues to show in the music, like Sigue, for example, right? So,
yeah. Dude. And the dope thing is that like, it's like what you said, like you still keep the vibe there. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
So even with Sigue, like there is like a lot of like deep meaning. It's like very dense with meaning, but at the same time, you can gig to that shit, bro. Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Put down the windows, fucking Sigue. You know what I mean? Like you can still. It's like a really good balance. You know what I mean? Of just like hey, I can vibe with this. I can chill. I can coast with it, and then at the same time, it has like a lot of meaning too. And actually, speaking of meaning, bro, I want to know what was the significance of the voicemail in the beginning.
It's a funny story. So my boy had a voicemail. It's a real voicemail. It's not a recent one either. It's kind of dated, but he heard the song. I sent him the song, and he was fucking juiced. He's like, this shit goes crazy. He's like, I got the perfect thing for you to post in the beginning. He sends me this voicemail, and I'm like, holy shit, it fucking fits, right? In the voicemail, you have the girl saying, just wanted to call you and tell you good morning. I miss you, blah blah blah. The significance behind that is the song beforehand. So the song beforehand, the first song on the album is called Sky, Since Knowing You, right? And in that song, I'm saying, this is the last time I'll ever hit you up. You made it very clear I'm not the one for you. So I'm basically saying, like, talking about a situation where like me and an ex, right, are pretty much really, really drifting apart to a point where like we both know this is not going to work. Let's just cut our losses and move on. Sigue is like a year later, basically, where I'm finally moving on and being in a situation where I feel like I'm attracted to finally another girl. I've moved on, and that voicemail is supposed to represent the ex from the past, right? Yeah, so you have her
together. Okay, all right.
If you listen to the end of Sky, the first song, at the very end, it starts to play like the sound effect of as if you were calling someone, like the whole ringing and the voicemail prompt and all that plays at the end. So it basically leads in really smoothly to Sigue, where you get the voicemail that's supposed to represent, basically like in that situation, at least for me, I saw it as, my ex is hitting me up, or an ex of mine is hitting me up, and I'm gonna try to focus on the future and not the past, right? So it's kind of like semi intertwined with the story, but again, I wanted it to leave it up to people's, interpretation. Like, take it however you want, right? If that voicemail is the girl you're talking about in Sigue, then great. Or if it's how I explained it, then great. You know, it's more on how you interpreted it, but that's the significance behind it.
Mm.
It was an idea my boy had, and in the beginning I was like, I don't want to do that. But honestly, like, I remember taking it out after listening to it with the voicemail for a long time, and I was like, yeah, it doesn't sound right without it, so I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah, dude, it magically fits so well with the song and the vibe, and especially like when you like, because like whenever you have like a voicemail, it always kind of has like a sad tone to it.
Yeah,
I feel like that's always why it kind of does that. So especially when you're like later in the song doing "Why You Gotta Go" and like you have the voicemail, it just kind of all ties together. You know what I mean? It just fits perfectly. You know what I mean? So I get it. That totally fucking makes sense, bro.
yeah, like,
I'm glad you kept it in there.
it feels like you kind of had your own thought of what Sigue probably meant and what that song probably meant, just based off those two elements, the voicemail, and at the end when I'm actually, or when there is actually English, you know, being said in a song, you know, why you gotta go, you know, why you gotta go, you know, right? Like, it's almost where you kind of make your own like story, like your own interpretation. Like, yeah, like maybe this song was about this girl in the voicemail, but he's just talking from a perspective of before everything got bad, right? And now at the end of the song, it's like, why you gotta go, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know,
Hey, was there any reasoning behind you switching from like Spanish and English throughout the song?
no, I think that I kind of grew accustomed to that, and I think my mindset, well, I should say, I know the mindset I have behind that. It's I want to bring a good fusion of both worlds together. At least like 5 years ago, I started to kind of get more into reggaeton. You know, reggaeton now became a really big worldwide phenomenon, and it was still pretty big worldwide. It just wasn't, I think, as prominent in the United States as it is now. And that's, for me, that's great because, you know, we have the Latin culture really showing what we have and what we can offer in the music industry. I think it's great to see, like, for example, Mia, like, right, with Bad Bunny and Drake.
Mm-hmm.
You have, you know, Drake singing the hook in Spanish. It's awesome, right? So, like, for me, like, I'm like, hey, like, it's being done and I want to contribute in my own way. So let me take what I know from, you know, the years that I've been doing hip hop and rap, and let me add my flavor to it, right? Let me add my, you know, my background, you know, what I know, you know, as far as how I grew up in my family, and using, you know, the language that my parents taught me, right? Like, a lot of people can't say, you know, oh, I know Spanish and English, you know, and I'll be honest, my Spanish isn't 100% like flawless. It's it's definitely something that I had to keep using to be able to continue to learn, you know, to use it, or to hold on to it. And luckily, I used to work at a bank, Wells Fargo, and we had a lot of customers that needed Spanish speaking help, so that really helped out. But
Nice.
I think around that time, honestly, like 4 or 5 years ago, I started to really use it, but not until now, or like the last few years, I started to really make it a part of my music. And I think, like, I'm trying to think of an example. I'm just not getting it right now, of a song that I really started to do the whole Spanish and English. Oh yeah, Sientes. It's called Sientes. If you ever get a chance to listen to it, I made it 2 years ago, and that song was like the first time I really dove in deep. Like, okay, I'm really gonna use a half of it Spanish, half of it English, and I got so much love from that song that I was like, you know what, like, I've had this ability for so long and I've never used it really to my advantage, that, like, I'm gonna start doing that now, right? And slowly but surely, I started to really veer into this territory where it's now part of, like, something you would definitely expect from a song. Like, whenever I drop my next song, you should expect it to be like Spanish and English, right? Before, I wouldn't really say that, or even could say that. So I'd like to think of myself as a, you know, someone with a lot of versatility in music, and I think that's also why, like, I want to be, you know, versatile and offer you best of both worlds. Like, oh shit, he switched it up. He's talking Spanish? Oh, he's talking English now? Like, that's a dope thing to be able to offer, you know, the people that listen to your music. So I think it's just, you know, offering best of both worlds. I have a lot to say in both languages, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's kind of where it comes from. It's a lot of influence from what's happening today in the music industry, and seeing all these different genres come together, and me just really looking at it from my perspective and saying I want to contribute to that, in my own way.
Dude, tight, amazing. And you know what? I honestly think that is a great part to like end this off on. I feel like that kind of just wrapped everything up into a nice little bag. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure, dude.
So, did you want to have any other like closing comments or anything like that before we wrap this up?
Shit, man. If it's hot, it's hot. If it's not, it's not. You feel me? Nah, hey, shout out to my guy, Infinite, man. He's been showing love from the moment he heard Sigue, and I look forward to all the other content you're gonna be dropping, and you guys supporting me, brother, and for the fans out there, new and current, keep streaming Sky, or continue to stream Sky since knowing you. It's on everything: Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal if you use that. And I got new music coming. I'm working a lot on the behind the scenes stuff, producing more. Yeah, I think I have a lot of cool shit coming, and I hope to release that very soon for you guys. And I'm definitely gonna hit up Infinite to do a music reaction to the new shit coming out.
I got you on it, bro. Hey, dude, thank you for all the nice words. I really appreciate that. I also appreciate you sharing your time with me, doing this whole call and everything like that, especially with like this whole pandemic going on. I know everybody's been busy, everything's real hectic and everything like that.
Everyone stay safe, please. Stay home as much as possible. We're all gonna get through this, and it's really are trying times right now, man. And for those who are, I know a lot of you guys dealing with the mental aspect of it. Stay strong. And honestly, like, if anyone ever needs to reach out and talk to me about anything, I always want to be someone that is available to talk. I think talking about, and just like we're doing now, talking about shit, I think is very powerful. So even if you don't know me, reach out to me. I'd love to hear from anyone about anything. It doesn't matter. Let's talk. Let's chop it up.
What's up, man? That's very kind of you, bro. So, with that being said, this has been I was gonna say it's been another episode, but this is the first one. This concludes the first episode of Behind the Music. My name is Devin. I also go by Infinite or Pod by Infinite. And I'm with my dude Louie Franco. You feel me? Peace out.